Yep. That's how it's done. Eagles way of boxing. Coming up. What should we do, man? Yeah. We gonna talk about it. Like always. That's how we do. Talk about it. I gotta do a replay. I usually do my music, my other music, but I'm like, so why not? I like my war music, and I don't have it right here. It would have been nice to have it right here, but I don't have it right here. So we'll check out. We'll do another. We'll just do another song. That's all. That's what we'll do. We'll just do another one. That's it. Let's see if we can get it done. Uh-oh. It's like it's not want to act right. But let's just see what we can do. Yeah, everything got to act weird all the time. Let's see. There we go. I'm having disturbances right now. But just listen to the spirit. Right back. That's it. Yep. Again, we back. Let's see. Okay, so I took care of all my messaging and stuff like that. So, yeah, we get back up in here. Eagles way of boxing. Yep. I don't see none of y'all out there, but y'all probably, I don't know. Y'all hanging back today. Maybe the notifications didn't come out. But there we go again. I got me a notification. Wait, hold on. Be right back in a second. Let me find. Man, there's always something, right? Be right back. Yep, all these different conversations going on. But yeah, I was actually able to go to the city. Back down, and you guys know what I call it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Belly of the beast. That's what I call it. That's where I was at. Belly of the beast. Belly of the beast, man. No no sneak peeks, no sneaky no sneaking grabs, no trash grabs on me, no trash grabs Saturday. But that's what I did for the that's what I did for the 4th, man. I went, got some of my native stuff done. I know a lot of people like to, they love the American holidays and stuff. Got to go out there and get that barbecue going and all that. I don't know. When something's not my original or whatever, this my tradition or something like that, I'm just going with the flow and trying to make the best out of it. But then when you stay away from it, it kind of leaves. It just leaves, like you just don't, and you wonder why a lot of the grandparents and older folks. Yeah, but but we'll see. We'll see. But we're gonna see. And we're gonna talk about these. I don't know. We got a couple of people that want to come back. Want to come back to boxing, but everybody wants to come back to boxing, and that's why we have these. That's why we end up with these chats. That's what happens. We end up with these chats because these fighters want to come back. And we end up with this discussion, and then a lot of people get mad. They get their feelings hurt. Which they shouldn't. They shouldn't get their feelings hurt, but that's what they do. They end up getting their feelings hurt. Don't get my feelings hurt. Don't get your feelings hurt over something silly. You know what I mean? Just don't get, Yeah. Don't get your feelings hurt. But we're gonna talk about, some of these things that's coming up because I'm looking through them as I'm talking to you. So I'm just looking through a few things, and just a little talk. Yeah. But we're gonna see because they always got some kind of like offers or something like that. That's all they talk about. That's all they just offering us stuff. Yeah, that's what happened. That's all we end up getting, man. We end up getting nothing but a bunch of talk. We don't end up with what we want. In this whole boxing thing, we end up out of things that on the whole other side of the fence, whole other side of the conversation. It's like, man, nobody wants to hear that. Yeah. Yeah. But we're gonna get into it. I'm just sitting back waiting. I'm trying to hold on to my words and stuff a little bit because we got a lot of people. All my MIA people right now. I'm trying to wait for y'all to get up in here. Yeah. You hear this little clicking and stuff because I'm still looking. I'm like, what who? Really? It's like, you want to fight? Do you really want to fight? But we're going to see. We're going to see. The one thing I get tired of these fighters. There's always some kind of excuse for these fighters why they're not performing. They're winning, but there's always an excuse why they're not performing like they're supposed to perform. Well, just get your ass out there and perform. You the performer, ain't nobody else the performer. But you act like you can't perform. Oh, I'm just having problems with this and that. No, get on out there and fight. You know, get on out there and fight and just, do what you're supposed to do. You shouldn't be having no kind of problems or nothing like that. Just get out there and fight. And that's what we have this problem with, man. And that's why I think people see the title. You get the title, you get scared, and you don't want to come through Eagles Web because you've seen the title today. And it's just I wanted to carry on with the discussion from Friday, but no, it seems like everybody's busy this Monday because of, I don't know if the weekend wore them out, eating too much, see them spare ribs and all that stuff. And so the itis has set in. Everybody got itis. And so you got all that itis. You're like, I can't even move today. I'm just going to catch the replay or something like that. But we'll see. We're going to see what it is, though. Old Big George Foreman is in here, too, talking about. George Foreman always talking about, when he got hit by a certain person, how they surprised him and stuff like that. But he did that even when he was fighting. He did that. He'll pretend like his opponent, was such a good boxer or whatever. He'll make it seem like, oh yeah, this fighter here hit me and did that to me or whatever. And it's like, come on, George, ain't nobody hurt you like that. We know when you really got hurt. Because one thing about Big George is that he was really good at hiding anything, like if he got hurt or something like that. He's good, man. He just cover up. Yep. Okay, so BFTB is the first one to actually speak up in here. He said, what up, Ark? He said, I got it too. Yeah, man, I can't even, sometimes I'm going to tell you, man, salute to your little Neff. I'm going to tell you, man, a lot of times I can't even watch your videos, man. I can't even get past your screen, man. I just start dying, man. That one with that pig dick, oh my goodness, man. And, oh my goodness, man. That one with the goddamn, with Crawford and then with the wigs, oh man. Your boy was wearing it pretty good, though. The second fighter you had up there, Keith looked okay, but the second one, man, he looked, I forget who you had up there, but the second one, man, he looked, talk about suspect. Now that he was totally suspect. I mean, oh my God. All of them, man, all of them look, even Porter, man. Porter looked like, because somebody come out, it's good so don't do it perfect, man. Don't worry about doing it perfect, because what happens is, that's the right look. That's the right look, because that's what they look like, because they come out and some of them look good, like, okay, that's, and somebody might think that's a dime piece, right? And it's not a dime piece, but people think it's a dime piece. You see what I mean? But you had it hooked up to where, some of them look like real good, and some of them look like, that they threw on something. They threw the wig on. That's the way you wanted to look, man. It was perfect, man. I couldn't even stay out, man. It wasn't too much I could say. I was just like, I kept saying the same thing over and over. He said, that look, though. I said, man, that look right there. He said, I got it too. He said, about to take a quick nap. Yeah, y'all still go. Y'all had a 4-day weekend or 3-day weekend. That's good though. Yeah, we just came through this show love. No, it was all good. I was expecting Monday. I know people still that itis, man, sitting around and everybody's not working out like they usually do, so they're getting on that fat tip. Or a little bit. I ain't mad at them. Shoot, hey, somebody gonna give you that kind of a break, then that's what you do. Yeah, I'm trying to find out who the alpha is and stuff. Scared everybody off because they read the beta talk and they got scared. Oh, so no, I hope he ain't gonna call me a beta. No, I'm just trying to say that is we still in that discussion. I'm not gonna let nobody escape me, especially because they keep bringing up Terrence Bud. But I already slammed him Friday. I slammed all of them, and I told him I'm sorry. I said that Manny Pacquiao should not be the face of boxing right now. But y'all allowing him. These fighters are allowing him to be the face of boxing, which doesn't make sense. How is he the face of boxing? I mean, why is he the face of boxing? Because of his moves and stuff. And then you can't even, it's not no such thing. What's up, Gil? I see you out there. Salute to Gil Coles. He says, up Eagles, where we finally got up in here. But I tell you, Gil Coles, there's no escaping Manny. There's no escaping, I mean, because, and you can't write him off. You can't say that you're giving him a pass. Because you're not giving him a pass. He can fight who he want to. He just fought Keith, so now he got it. That's the way it's done. Stair step. I fought somebody up here, up top, got a championship. Now I can step down and fight. Nobody can fault him. Nobody can say nothing. So if they out there begging and they wanting a shot, then that's what you're doing. You're just begging and wanting a shot. But that doesn't mean you're going to get the shot. You know, you're not going to get the shot just because you're begging. You might, but then you might not. Yeah, I got all this stuff, man. But before I talk, man, yeah, I went out there, man. I was back out there, Gil, on the block, man. You was here late though the other day, so you didn't get to hear my story about the trash bag cash grab. How the guy pulled the trash bag cash grab on me. Some crackhead, man. He got me though. But I got it back, man. It took me about a half hour to figure out, I was like, what the hell? He's pulling his pockets up, laying against the wall, throwing his hands up, screaming, help. He was hollering for help and stuff. I'm like, man, he's screaming for help. And so I let him go and stuff. And then I realized, I said, well, the donation that I had got came from some young ladies and stuff that didn't have to give something. I said, well, I can't let you take their money. So I chased him back across the street, man. He ran in front of a train, but I still called him on the other side. He pulled the same thing on me again, throwing his hands up. I don't have nothing, folding his leg up high. A lot of somebody fold their leg up because they think you're gonna gut them or something. And he was screaming, help, help, help. Did that. But he dropped the bag in the street, and so my boy grabbed the bag and brought it over to me, and he pulled everything. He said, I ain't got nothing, man, because he didn't have no jacket on. Just had on some sweatpants with 2 pockets. I'm like, I know you got me, man. So then I just like, let me look in this trash again. So I looked down at the bottom of his trash, which is fake trash. Did some balled up newspapers and some cans and stuff like that in there. But the money's he stuffed the money down at the bottom real quick. And since it's not like a black bag, it's just a regular, trash, just a bag of trash. And so what happened is somebody obviously is not going to look in there. So, that's just his trash. He just carrying his trash around with his junk. But that's how they get you. I'm like, okay, so that's the new one. It's probably old school. It's probably not old school, but it's probably old. But for me, it was new because I get used to they different methods, like to drop down and tie your shoe up and grab the money. All kinds of little things, that we got to watch out for. So now I got the trash bag money grab, and I caught his ass with the trash bag money grab, and had to get him. You say Manny is not the face of boxing? Yeah, Manny is the face of boxing. And yes, you can argue with me because I'll sit back, man, and wait for you to come up with a valid point. Yeah, you come up with a valid point of who's the face of boxing right now. If Manny's not the face of boxing, who is? And the thing is what I'm gonna do is break it down and make you submit anyway. I mean, you can have your opinion, but who's the face of boxing? Put it up there. Manny has and you say, okay, Manny would drop a fight with any of the top fighters today for a rematch with Floyd. Tell me this ain't true. Floyd is still the top dog. Floyd is not the top dog because Floyd is not even fighting. And see, just mentioning those two fighters is that's not even a good thing that we have to even mention those two fighters. Because we're in the middle of our list still, in which I know I'm going to have to do this again too. I'm still going to have to do this again because there's nobody ready to discuss with that much. The people that's coming in, they're not going to say as much. And, you're in here. But Manny is the face of boxing. Floyd has never really been the face of boxing. Floyd has been the face of controversy. He wasn't the face of boxing. He was just a controversial figure. He was just he made himself a hated figure. And that wasn't even a whole lot of, American, like, that was a lot of Spanish or Latino American hate. That's what that turned into. That's what made him, they made him more popular than anybody else. It's just the hate side. Like they want him to lose. But then all their champions started falling and all their champions had the same excuse. Oh, he's just too skillful. That's what they came out with. He's just too skillful. And they're like, no, man, our style, our Mexican style should be able to beat him. And that was the biggest thing when it came to MTM. But Manny is the face of boxing. Manny's a senator. Manny got documentaries about himself here and also probably over in his country. He's known around different countries, especially if you're a senator in a country, you're going to be known in other countries because guess what? Senators in one country keep up with senators in other countries. The politics is the politics. All those politics go together. All those politics go together because Floyd is not coming back because Floyd already knows that everybody wants Floyd, not Manny, but everybody wants Floyd. And he's going to look like a real chicken if he tries to come back and he don't fight somebody like Earl or somebody. Sorry. If he don't fight somebody like Earl, even Manny is only doing, and see, and then the story is right now, what I just saw it right now. I don't know what feed I saw it on. The story that I saw right now, let me see if I can pull it up, is that Manny is the what do you call it? The talks are actually back on for him and Mikey. Yeah. So if that's true, then we don't have to look forward to him fighting anybody else. And I didn't really get into those right now, but I was about to because so we talk about the people that, and it says like the comeback, because here it is, because Oscar De La Hoya, it says that this is his quote: "I start sparring in 2 weeks," and that was his interview with Ring Magazine. Yeah, he's talking about that he'll be back. I'm not gonna read everything that he says. I'm not really into Oscar like that. And I'm just doing a quick report. Most time when I do reports on stuff, because we do grown folks talking here, I just want to break certain stuff down. And I want to break down like for instance, I want to break down the fighters themselves, what they need to do to win. So what you need to do to win, man, this is what you need to do, champ, to go in there and win. And all the other controversial stuff, like I said, I covered my part, especially when it comes to the gloves. But like I said, the coffin's still open. I'm not worried because I will still bury Fury's ass. Still. That ain't gonna matter. So I'll still get on him. It don't matter. Because you don't do dirt like that, man, and risk somebody's life and people laughing and stuff like it's fun. It's not. And then also we got another one that wants to come back now too. The Sergio Martinez. And we're already in July. So this is next month that he wants to come back. Yeah. And Maidana. Yeah. So there we go. So we're going to see. We're going to see if De La Hoya come back. Sergio Martinez. Marcus Maidana. So we're going to see. We're going to see who come back and see who does what they got to do. So we're going to see. Yeah. And he almost as old as De La Hoya. He's like 45, right? But we're gonna see what happens, man. These fighters, man, they go crazy after. I know this is what happens, man. Is you can't help it, man, because you got that income, because and we talked about that before, like the brands and stuff like that. So if you don't build your brand and do something outside of your regular boxing, so if you don't do something outside of your regular boxing and build up another part of your brand, then what's gonna happen is exactly that. As you run out of your money, then you end up coming back, and you try to pretend like, oh, I missed the sport. So with Oscar, he has promotions and stuff. He's still in boxing. So I don't know why he has to come back. He can come back and act like he loves it and all that, but I don't know. That's not really gonna work or nothing like that. Yeah, you said Floyd can come back to the ring. Yeah, and get his biggest bag. But Floyd ain't coming back. Floyd ain't been out long. Floyd is not coming back. You said Pac is not a bigger name than Floyd. Yes, he is. And we just covered that. It's just that you in here, you just want to say what you want to say. He is a bigger name. He was a bigger name before. When Floyd was about to fight him, he was the bigger name. You can argue. A lot of people can argue and say Floyd was a bigger name. Floyd was not. In USA, Floyd was a bigger name. But where else was Floyd a bigger name? Everybody liked Manny Pacquiao's excitement and stuff like that. Matter of fact, HBO, the commentators for HBO, they was always endorsing Pacquiao, even over Floyd. Matter of fact, when they was treating Floyd like garbage, like he had nothing to do. Matter of fact, like I said, when I even went to go watch that fight, I was with the sports bar that I was in. Like I said, I was in there with the 49ers. Damn near everybody in that bar, and there was a lot of people in there. There's hundreds of people in there. Almost everybody in there was going for. Everybody in there was a Pacquiao fan. There was hardly anybody in there that was a Floyd Mayweather fan. Everybody was hating on Floyd, and I was like, God dang! It was me and one of my boys was up in there, and it was like they was hostile basically against us. And I'm calling the fight. I'm like looking at every round. Said, "Oh, look at them uppercuts. Look at this. Look at that." I was like, but everybody wouldn't. They was mad at the decision still. They were still mad at the decision. But I'm saying but everybody was in this place. I'm seeing it firsthand for myself. The popularity was Pacquiao. Matter of fact, if Floyd was that popular, then shouldn't be nobody shouting for any other fighter when they're fighting him over there at the MGM. But guess what? They do all the time. Yeah, you said Pac is not a bigger name than Floyd. Yeah, he is. I hate that you making me state these facts, but I'm gonna keep it 100. If Floyd came back, all these fighters would line up, including Pac. I'm not saying. Well, lining up for money is prize fighting guilt. If you're lining up for money, don't have shit to do with popularity. It got to do with money. He's not gonna be more popular just because if he made a comeback right now, he's not gonna be more popular. People that's lining up, they're not lining up because they really care about him that much. They lining up because of that bag. I mean, if he came back and fought any fighter, I wouldn't watch it. I mean, I wouldn't pay for it. If I get to go see it for free, I'll watch it. I'm not gonna watch Floyd fight nobody. I'll watch the replay because it's something that I'm not really interested in. I'm interested in him laying his ass down like a fighter should after they retire. Not keep coming back. You said you wanted to keep your faculties and not get hurt up. Because if he come back against the wrong person, he is going to get hurt. Because age is undefeated when it comes to age. I know about his skill set and all that, but like I said, he's not more. Right now, Manny Pacquiao is the active fighter. He is the face of boxing. He's not. So when you say that, all you're telling me is that he does fit that conversation with Muhammad Ali. He does not. Because Muhammad Ali is the only fighter that was in retirement for so many years that was still the face of boxing. And will stay the real face of boxing. That's why his face is on that belt. Right? And you're asking me, see, your questions don't mean shit to me because I don't care about an A side. I don't care about a B side. That's for you guys. A side, B side means very little to me. It means nothing to me. The majority of the people that went to that fight was not going to see Floyd. The majority of the people that was at that fight was there to see Manny. So what does that tell you? If who's more popular? If you got more fans to come to see you, then who's more popular? Especially if you go to somebody else's hometown. Huh? You got people spread out, of course, like the people in Michigan. Of course, they're going for Floyd. People in the Midwest probably going for Floyd. A lot of people on the East Coast. But then you start spreading it out. You start spreading it out in some of those places, smaller towns or whatever else, then Manny, of course. Of course. Yeah, way more people. Just go back and look at the fight. If that's what you want, if you need to do all that, like I said, I'm sitting in a hostile sports bar, and even the professional, the people that are professionals are going with Manny. And Manny fans, I didn't know it was that many Manny fans. There's too many Manny fans. Sir Flame, Manny fan, right? There's so many people just Manny fans. I didn't know it was that many myself. I would have thought that Floyd would have been the more popular fighter, but he wasn't. He just was not. But see, this is where the mistake comes in. This is where the mistake comes in. The mistake comes in because if you look at a lot of the fighters and a lot of the fights that Floyd fought, the opposition is not that he was more popular, but here of course he's going to seem more popular. But I can just about guarantee you, 100%, I can 100% guarantee you that when Floyd fought Cotto, that in New York, in that area right there, that Floyd was not the favorite. He was not the most popular to them. They didn't give a shit about Floyd. Everybody was going with Cotto. Same thing when he fought Zab Judah. Yeah, when he fought him. The people in that area was going, and it was more populous than the Vegas area, of course. So, of course, they was going with Zab Judah, Yahuda. That's who they was going with. Now, certain fights that Floyd's been in, of course. And matter of fact, you can see that his fights or his popularity was not based on people like him. It was more based on people hating. Just remember when he fought Hatton. How many people came over to see him fight Hatton? That crowd was crazy down there when Hatton came over. Who was the more popular fighter? Well, of course, Hatton's going to be the more popular if he got more people there. How could he have more people in your town? That's what I'm saying. It's not a popularity like people think it is. See, a lot of times what you don't understand, hate popularity sells. You know, I see you down there where you said, okay, I agree to disagree. I don't have no problem with that. But you're not going to sway me into thinking, because especially when I can see, when I'm looking, I got 20/20 vision and it's 20/20, and I'm looking around and I'm seeing that right now everybody wants to fight Manny. And everybody, if Floyd come back, everybody's not going to want a piece of Floyd, because some people just don't care. No, I want the young dogs. I want, who got belts right now. If they got money, but most of them don't have that kind of money. Of course, they know that he's the money generator. But I can ask you this, though. So do you think that Floyd still is the money generator? Floyd might not be the money generator like everybody thinks he is. Okay? Because they're looking at, hey, we took the Manny dupe, we got duped on the Manny fight, got duped on the McGregor fight. They already knew that, and what the fight in between, which was Andre Berto, everybody more or less knew what the outcome of that was. The only two fights out of the last three fights that was up for question was the Manny fight and the McGregor fight. But most of the fights wasn't up in the air like that. The Canelo fight was kind of up in the air a little bit until we seen a couple of rounds. Then we already knew how that was going to end up. The Hatton fight, just for his fans, Hatton's fans, it might have been up in the air, but for us, we already knew. That's you're going to get that ass whooped. You see what I mean? But when we see, when you say the face, and see here's the. Now I'm gonna tell you, this is the whole thing when you talk about the face. So when you talk about the face of boxing, right now there's all kinds of ways that you can become the face of boxing. There's different ways, but there's certain standards within those ways that you're going to become the face of boxing. So back when Muhammad Ali was the face of boxing, his brand was just huge compared to everybody else's brand. And not just that, because he can speak and everything else, he can talk. Now, to be the face of boxing, you can't just have a skill set and be a good boxer. And yes, we would have more faces of boxing right now. That means Terrence Crawford would be the face of boxing, which he is not. If you just base it on skill set, you can't base it on skill set only. There's other factors. There's the general populace type of factor too. What do you do in general public? What's your background? What do you stand for? You can't have somebody that stands only for money to be the face of boxing. It don't work that way. Just like if it was basketball or anything else, if somebody just stood for nothing but money, then that's not a face of boxing. That's the face of money in boxing. That's the face of, oh, I need to get that money. That's all that is. That's like, I don't give a shit about my fans. If you standing out there with your fans signing autographs and you hanging out with them and stuff every once in a while, that's the face of boxing. People's champ. The people have to say that. You can't say for yourself. The people have to say it. People with common sense have to say it. Which common sense is not very common anymore. That's who has to say that you're the face of boxing. You can't say, oh, I'm the face, I'm the great. See, if he would never stamped himself. See, when he stamped himself as he's the greatest of all time, when he stamped himself like that, then he just killed everything. Because there was only one fighter that could say, I'm the greatest of all time. He said it when he was a youngster. So, Muhammad Ali said it when he was 20 years old. Floyd is trying to say it now. What's the difference if you saying at 20 years old that you're the greatest of all times, and if you're 40 something and saying that you're the greatest of all time? What's the difference? Think about it. What's the difference? That you put the shoes on to live into it. So if Mayweather would have said that when he was Pretty Boy, that I'm the greatest of all times, then the parallel would have been there. But there's no parallel at all when it comes to that. Yep. And then just went on Instagram and said Floyd got 23.6 million followers. Pat got 5.3 million. Okay, and where's Instagram the most popular at? I mean, that's apples and oranges, man. You can't compare stuff like that, because a lot of people overseas, Manny's followers ain't gonna be on no damn Instagram. He got a whole country behind him. Mayweather don't have a whole country behind him. That's the point you're missing. That he has a whole country, plus he have people over here behind him. And they just don't do the social media. Social media, is that the thing now? Oh, you got a lot of people following you on social media, and a lot of that shit is just fluked up anyway. Shit. You got people that start channels and stuff, they have 1,000 people, or not even 1,000 people. And then one day they'll have 23,000, 24,000, 25,000 in a day. Get out of here with that. That's nothing. That's nothing. Since you're a big Floyd fan, I suppose. Are you following Floyd on Instagram? You said, was Jordan the face of basketball? Oh, you damn right they made Jordan the face of basketball. But Jordan's competition never made it. His main competition never made it into the NBA for some reason. And then we don't know how it would have turned out then. Because there was a player that was better than Jordan that died on his way in. He was better than Jordan. And Jordan knew he was better than Jordan. He could jump by higher than Jordan and all that. Matter of fact, it might have been 2, but him for sure. That was Len Bias. And somebody can argue and fight about that if they want to, about Jordan and Len Bias. But he was better. But they made him the face. But it's popularity, people, commercial backing. That's what you're missing for Floyd. You're missing all that. Floyd ain't got no commercial backing. Which movies has Floyd has Floyd ever done? Has anybody invited Floyd, oh, come do this? Can he even read his lines? Did Jordan do a movie? See, it's different. You doing commercials. He got Nike behind him. Who's backing Floyd? Is Nike backing Floyd like that? What he had? Did he have Gatorade too? He had Gatorade, Nike, what else? All kinds of stuff. Car commercials. What commercials have Floyd done? I'll wait. I'll just wait and I'll wait. See? And even though this fighter I like a lot, and that's Roy Jones, even he didn't have the popularity as Michael Jordan. And to me, he was more exciting than Floyd to me. Way more exciting than Floyd. I would pay to see Roy Jones fight over Floyd at any time in their career. When they was in their prime and stuff, they said you got a choice. You can watch Roy Jones or you can watch Floyd. I'd have been right at Roy Jones's fight. There's no way I would have never been even close to Floyd's fights at all. Yeah, you crying and stuff. Jordan was all about the money, like Floyd. And that's what kills you as a player and everything else once you retire. Jordan's still doing good with the Jordan brand, but people themselves don't. That's because the youngsters don't know shit about Jordan. Jordan was retired. See, if you retire and you have a brand that's going, you're good. See, Floyd retired, got a brand. Ain't nobody give a shit about his brand. I talked about that on Friday. Nobody buying Floyd stuff. But people still buying Jordan stuff. Nobody like Jordan. The people who know Jordan don't like him. People don't give a shit about Jordan. You hardly ever hear his name. And yes, it has something to do with them shoes. Nothing else about him. Because nobody care about Jordan. I didn't really like Jordan when he came out. I didn't like him that much. Because I can sense something. And guess what? My senses was right. Just all into it. He never was the type of person that's going to stand up. See, Manny is a person that stands up for his people over in this country. And our athletes over here don't stand up for nobody. It's all for them. It's all about that money. They're not going to get out on the street and protest with you. So you got to be careful when you protest because you don't even know if it's BS or nothing when you protest them. And especially none of them ever show up. They're not there. They're not there for no kind of marches or nothing like that. They ain't going to get their head cracked. Money don't make you popular, man. Let me ask you a simple. See, you too easy to deal with, man. When you come up, because the stuff you come up with it's just stupid, man. It's easy. Anything you say is so easy to squash. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. Do you think that right now? Do you think that as far as, especially you bringing up a person of color right there? So he's an athlete that's well known because of some money. That's what you're saying. Are there billionaires? Are there so-called African American billionaires that have way more money than he has that you don't know about? Or that people don't know about, that's not as popular or so-called as popular as him. And in some circles, they're way more popular than he is. Because there's some billionaire lawyers that's way more popular than he is in their circle for what they do. As a matter of fact, I'll just put it to you like this. You might not have heard of this. This is a lawyer named Johnny Cochran, way more popular than Floyd. He don't put no products out. And he's only known and he got popular just from one case, and that was the OJ case. Yeah. And in some instances, in most instances, if you somebody who don't know nothing about sports, boxing, and nothing like that, if you mention Floyd Mayweather and you mention O.J. Simpson, I guarantee you more of those people are gonna know O.J. Simpson than Floyd. Same thing with Muhammad Ali. They're gonna know Muhammad Ali more than they're gonna know Floyd. They're gonna know Usain Bolt more than they're gonna know Floyd. So the whole money thing, that's too easy to squash. You're talking about money. You're talking about money. Floyd was the money. He was a money generator. He could generate money. And it wasn't because of his fans. His fans wasn't going to give him that kind of money. It's like a hate thing. Like if I guarantee you, nobody would even think about him. And this is like one of those things where you just, well, that's something that we could never know. But yes, we could know. If Muhammad Ali was just coming out right about the same time as Floyd, Floyd would have been a broke fighter. Floyd wouldn't have made nothing. If all these things never happened to Muhammad Ali, where he could stay in shape, he could have stayed, he wouldn't have missed his prime or nothing like that, was just beating people up like that, nobody would even wanted to pay to see Floyd. And Ali would have made that same kind of money, even more money. He could, and this day, he could have demanded even more money. And would have stayed more, it would have been way more popular. You wouldn't even know who Floyd was. See, but you got to look at, what you're not looking at is you're not looking at the advantages of, that he took of the situation, because there's not certain fighters. There's nobody there. If I'm the only one there, of course, I'm going to be more popular. I'm going to be more hated. And people going to want to get their butts in the seat to watch me lose. I'm going to make all the money. Of course, because everybody hates you. And that's all that was. If everybody's not liking you like that, of course, in boxing is what it was. It is what it is. And it was what it was back then. So if you go back to that time period, or that era, you go back to those times where Floyd was so popular when he's making all that money. Who else was there to make that kind of money? Huh? Because right before Floyd, you got to realize that Floyd was not the one that was, he was not the money maker right then. Oscar De La Hoya was. Floyd was not the money maker until he beat Oscar De La Hoya. Then he become the face, the one that was going to make all that money. Because it wasn't really a lot of people there. If you start naming people, you're not going to come up with, who are you going to come up with? Around that time of fighting, who was there? Who was there at that time? Who was there at that time? Who? Shane Mosley? Who? Winky Wright? Who was around at that time? Zab Judah? Who was around? Everybody had their following from certain areas, but who was so controversial that nobody wanted to see him fight? Winky Wright couldn't have done it because of his style, right? Even though nobody was going to beat him. Even Andre Ward was around, but he wasn't making that kind of money. But I liked Andre Ward, and I think his fights was probably more exciting. He just didn't think they were, because I liked the way he methodically broke people down and just got all his W's. He wasn't the only one that was, so he wasn't the only one that was undefeated. Andre Ward was undefeated. And was Andre Ward undefeated longer than Floyd? Of course. Andre Ward hadn't lost a fight since what? Since he was 12 years old or something like that? Come on now. But nobody really hated Andre Ward. It's just certain people, like overseas, they hated him a little bit. But it was just like, it depends. I told you, man, it balances out. It has to be, you have to have that I like you and I hate you, ratio. That's what it has to be. That's what it has to be. No, Manny ain't more popular in Eagles Way Up chat. Manny is more popular because Manny's just more popular. Because Floyd is not, he's not in the picture right now. I didn't when Manny got in the ring with Earl Spence, wasn't Floyd at the fight? Floyd didn't get into the ring or nothing like that. He might not have been there, but I'm saying he's at some of these fights. He's not getting up in the ring, challenging nobody. How is he popular when nobody, you got to be seen to be popular somewhere. the greatest headlines for the Mayweather family right now? My favorite Mayweather has passed on now, and that was Roger. That's the only one I really care about in that whole family. Huh? You ain't popular when you go to jail for beating up girls and stuff like that. You're not popular. That does not do anything to help your brand out. That messes your brand up, whether you're guilty or not. That messes your brand up, and now you got children following in your footsteps. That makes you a bigger brand. Does Manny have that in his branding? What's Manny's criminal record like? And you think he's more popular? He's not more popular. Not for the reason that you think. It's a different kind of popularity. You're popular only because people want you to get beat. You're not popular because, oh yeah, let's see what Floyd do. They just want to see you get beat. That's the difference. You said if Ali would have done what he did in this era, he would have been Colin Kaepernick. No, he wouldn't. And Colin Kaepernick, believe it or not, is his endorsement for his brand actually then went up. And I got to totally disagree with you, like with Muhammad Ali, because Muhammad Ali would not have to be as outspoken as he was, because he was outspoken more because of the war and all that. There is no war. And I don't know why see, because you're borderline, and matter of fact, you're not even really borderline. I mean, you're like inside of Floyd's strap right now. It's not because you agree to disagree, but you are actually in his strap. You're laying down right next to him because he doesn't fight. You're talking about a fighter who doesn't even fight, and you're trying to make him the face of boxing. He's not, because you want him to be the greatest of all time because he's more your era than mine. And so you want him to be the face of boxing. He's not. Sorry. And if you heard, I mean, Floyd couldn't do nothing to me. What is Floyd going to do to me? Floyd ain't doing shit to nobody. So I don't know what you think Floyd did. What did Floyd did to you? No, I don't like certain stuff, man. See, because I'm grown to the point where if I see that there's all kinds of things that a person can do and they don't do them because they only about self, then I have a problem with that. Because I come from a line of givers. See, you're from a line of probably keepers like him. And that's why you adore him so much. Because you're from a line of people who keep. My heritage is people who give. My heritage is not people who keep. My heritage is straight. My heritage is not the forked tongue type. In which we're even into this boxing and all this other stuff. And, I could make it a heavy discussion, but I'm not going to make it a heavy discussion. I will later. Because a lot of things we do, most of the stuff we do is for money and for greed. But you're not supposed to follow that. You're not supposed to follow the money greed trail. That's not what you're supposed to do. And yes, that's who you are. If that's the way your people have been, then that's the way you're going to be. Because you missed the whole thing. Like I said, if you would have went back and watched the beginning of my show from Friday, and then you might have got clued in on a few things, but you didn't. You did something else. I don't know what you did, but you did whatever you needed to do. But if you would have went back and checked it out, you'd have been, okay, that make a lot of sense right there. But you didn't. Because I broke down a lot of stuff when it comes to the popularity and all that. And when it comes to the money and about our money and about the poverty and stuff that we're suffering from right now. The food, the poverty, and even the way we eat and all that other stuff. See? Because the thing is, I'm native and I know the way natives eat. I don't know what your cultural background is. So I don't know, I know some of it, but I'm just saying, I don't know what y'all used to eat. But we know our foods and stuff, and we don't get to have our foods and stuff. When somebody really destroys your food supply, and so we don't even get the foods we used to eat. So it's very hard to work out into a culture to where they made all the rules up. And see, that's what a lot of people don't understand. That all these rules are made to take you out. These rules are not made to help you sustain life. They're made to take you out. Working so many years, working so many hours a day, spending so much money on taxes, doing this, doing that, paying money for medical when the herbs and the medicine is already here. And worried about these epidemics and all this stuff. And have people actually preaching on it, which they're lying to everybody, and then people fall for it. Oh yeah. Dumb. But that's too big. I don't know why you got saltiness. You said I just don't understand where the saltiness for Floyd comes from. I don't know why you're salty with Floyd. And you say I don't know any of these fighters personally, therefore I could care less. No. See, but your words, you can't write the words that you're writing if you can care less. Because you make yourself into a fork-tongued person. You make yourself into a liar gill when you say that. If you don't care, you wouldn't be strapping him like that. Because you're actually inside the jock itself. You just don't even know you are. That's how bad it is. You're so caught up in riding this strap that you don't even know you in there. Oh, am I in this strap? Just look down. You see his feet? Because you in this strap. All you gotta do is look out the jock. You hanging in there like it's a hammock and shit. Yeah, you hanging in this strap like it's a hammock. You know what I mean? But I put it out there to say who's the face of boxing, and Manny is the face of boxing. You're the only person that comes to the chat that actually disagree with that. Can you be the only one that's right? No. You could be, but you're not. You're not the only one that's right. If you come in here like that, because you're just wrong, and that's all it is to it. Sometimes you have to be wrong. Yeah, it don't matter if I have the mic or not. I'm just saying but you're writing all kinds of stuff about, because I said Manny's the face of boxing. But see, you don't have none of your point. The only point that you have, you got 2 points. You got a social media point, and then you got who made the most money point. As if Manny didn't get none of the money. You act like Manny didn't help generate that money. See, that's what you're not understanding, is Manny helped generate that money, right? Manny helped generate that money, and who else helped generate all that money? And somebody out of a different sport helped generate all that money. So name a fighter that helped him generate that money before those two fighters, before McGregor and before Manny, who helped him generate those kind of dollars. Okay, now wait. It's nothing to really wait about. You talking about saltines and all that. Oh, he's salty with Floyd. I don't care about them like that. I'm just putting out the information. It's something that it can be disagreed with. I'm not saying you can't disagree, but I'm not going to accept. If you would have said somebody else, I might be able to accept it a little bit better, as long as you got some points. But you got 0 points with somebody who does not fighting right now, and somebody who's claiming for themselves at the end of their career to say that they're the greatest of all times. You see what I mean? Yeah. Well, De La Hoya's trying to make himself relevant again. Because De La Hoya, like I said, that's part of this. Because De La Hoya wants to come back. And what do people think about that? What do we think about De La Hoya wants to come back? He starts sparring in a couple of weeks. But do we want to see him come back? I guess Tyson stopped talking about it, but do we want to see De La Hoya come back? And if he does start sparring, if he does come back, who does he fight? Who do we want to see him fight? And who does he fight? Does he fight Floyd again? How much money would that generate? I don't think that would generate very much money. So who does he fight? Because Floyd has to come back, and even when Floyd comes back, there's certain people he has to fight. Like, he can't come back and fight like Ricky Hatton come out of retirement and fight him. He still got to pick and choose. You know what I mean? He got to pick and choose. He has to pick somebody where the hate will be big enough. Not the like. The hate has to be big enough. because Floyd's fan base is just not, it's not going to be a growing one. Yep. Because you look at, like, people will go back into, like, the archives, and they'll see certain athletes and stuff, and they say, oh, I never knew this about this athlete, and then they'll become like a fan, even though that the athlete is retired. They'll still become a fan. But see, that's not going to happen with somebody like, see, with Floyd, that's not going to happen. Because even Manny is still picking up more. See, Manny, because he's active, Manny can still pick up more. Manny can still pick up more people. I see my brother just got up in there, Derek Bailey. I see you down there. Say salute to, at Eagles Web Boxing. Salute to my brother out there. Yeah. So Manny can still pick up more people. You just don't get it because like I said, man, you inside of Floyd's jockstrap. Like I said, if you look down, if you hang over the side of his jockstrap, you'll be able to see his feet, and you'll realize, hey, I shouldn't be hanging on this jockstrap. But when I'm saying Manny's more is the face, man. That's just what it is, man. Because you can't even come up with an argument besides social media and how much money Floyd made that he's the face of boxing. No. But if that's all you're worried about is just money, then you're the face of money in boxing. You're not the face of boxing. It depends on what you do, man. What do you stand for? See, and that's what I don't get, man, because with a lot of younger people, man, that you don't have to stand for anything anymore. And you're popular for not standing for anything. And you don't stand for nothing, and that's what makes you popular. You got to stand for something, man. And I'm not saying, because Floyd probably got a lot of youngsters, but he's not picking up any fans. Manny can still pick up new fans. But like I said, all the old fans are still hanging on Floyd's jock and hanging up in it. I only see how he can wear his jock, man. All y'all hanging on it like that, man. Y'all looking at, y'all actually inside of it, not even hanging. Y'all just inside looking down at his feet while he's training or while he's just walking around. It's like, get off of there. You have to be a person that does something for your people, man. And you got to be a person that does something for others outside of what you do in order for you to be that kind of, to hold that kind of standard, to be that kind of popular, to be a face. You know what I mean? It's even with a lot of these financial institutions and stuff. Some of these financial institutions aren't as big as other ones, and the reason is because they don't talk about stuff in their commercials. They just talk about them. They just, and a lot of times, if they talk about the community, what they're doing for the community, then they got people looking out like, okay, yeah, they doing good. They doing good things for our community. But then, of course, if that's the business sense of a business to where they're doing stuff for your community, of course, you're going to look out for them. You're going to be like, okay, maybe I should support them. Yeah. Derek Brady, come in laughing. You can't help. I know Derek Brady. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, you have your conversation with Derek Bailey. We already talked about this on Friday. Manny is the face of boxing right now. I know. See, why you're asking him, I know that's between you and him. That's between you and D to the Bailey. But why you're asking that question, see what you just did? I tried to get you off of that strap. You went right back into it. It's almost like it's like kittens and stuff, or baby mammals when they nursing. And the mom push them off, they go right back. Just like I tried to, you nursing on that jock strap, how it takes. And so I just tried to back you up off of it, and you still ran right back to it. Who's more popular? Floyd is popular for like I said, it's the hate factor. It's not I'm popular, it's the hate factor. That's what it is. It's the hate factor. That's what generates the money. It's the hate factor. That's when Muhammad Ali, it wasn't always just the popularity. It was the hate factor that put the butts in the seat. Because you got to have just as many people want to see you lose as see you win. Now, we know that because if you think about it, Mayweather's skill set is that much more superior than anybody, then nobody probably should want to even see it. It's like, oh, he's going to win because of his skill set. So why are they watching? They're not watching because they're watching because they want to, you know what I'm saying? They want to they want to see him lose. And right now, nobody just don't want to see him anyway. They just don't want to see him. As a matter of fact, I don't want to see him because and it has nothing to do with hate with me. It's just that how many times can you get duped? Do you want to get duped again? You already know what he's coming back for is the money. So do you want to watch him come back and get some more of your money? Do you want to pay $119 to watch him fight at home? Do you want to spend $119 to watch him fight somebody? Do you want him to come back and get the money grab off of you? Because that's what he's gonna get. He's gonna get that money grab off you. Yeah. Okay, Derek Brady said something back up and let me see. Gil messing with him, but he ain't really replying to Gil. He said, I don't, yeah, that's what he said. He said, I don't know. It's hard to say. He said, I don't see how Floyd is getting new fans. That's it. You can't get, but Manny's still here. But Manny being active there is an argument because Manny is willing to fight these young dudes. And that's what it is. And he said, no, I don't order Floyd's fights. And I'm not going to let Floyd, and see, the thing is, I didn't pay for none of those big fights. And I wouldn't. I'm not going to pay for I'm not going to pay for fights like that. I'm not going to pay for stuff like that. And you think and it's going to be even more money when he come back because he's going to be wanting so much money. And so they're not going to give him the money this time. They're going to get the money from us. Because even the ones that promote, they like, that's too much, he going to want too much money. Okay, let's the fans, let them be the upfront money. And so these people that you feel that even on social media, like I said, social media be lying. If Floyd, even on social media, so besides all his overseas fans and everybody else, he got 23.6 million, followers on Instagram. Are those 23.6 million fighters, huh? Now multiply that out times 100. Are they gonna watch him fight? Since he's so popular, are they gonna pay $120 to watch him fight? And how much money is that gonna generate? Huh? That's about $2 billion, right? If his fans is loyal, then his next fight, he should be able to make $2 billion just off his fans alone. No advertisement, no nothing else. But you caught up in that. Don't believe that, man. Don't believe them numbers, man. Yeah. D to the bay. They say I like watching Floyd fights, but I don't order his fights. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. See, I watch him. I like to watch his style. I'm so used to his style now, but so it's not like I don't even have to see his fight now because I'm so used to what his style or something like that. If I knew he was gonna get into a brawl, I'll watch the fight. If I knew it was gonna be an actual brawl where the person wasn't just getting hit, getting countered so much that they just quit and just didn't want to do nothing, like Canelo. Canelo got beat up and then he didn't know what to do no more because he a youngster. He was kind of young and just he wasn't used to getting the beat down like that, and so he just made it. It just turned into a boring ass fight. And a lot of times that happened with Mayweather fights. They just turn into like boring fights. Madonna, the first one, that wasn't a boring fight, right? It's out there fighting. But then once Floyd flipping on you, it turns boring once he gets a chance. Zab Judah, that wasn't a boring fight until the end of it. And then you kind of seen what was happening. You see what I mean? But just like I was telling you before, Zab Judah is more popular than Floyd on the East Coast. They stick behind their fighters there. That's the whole thing. They stick behind their fighters back there. Certain areas stick behind their fighters, man. But like I said, when it came to the arena, even when Floyd fought Hatton, like I said, Hatton had more fans in there than Floyd did. Same thing with Pacquiao. And like I said, I was stuck in a place where nothing but Pacquiao fans. And I'm not against anybody. I'm not against Floyd. I'm not against anybody. It's just the thing is it is what it is. And Manny, like I said, everybody saw a lot of people who were Keith Thurman fans, like yourself. You're a fan. Now guess what? Some of Keith Thurman's fans was not direct Keith Thurman fans. And so they was on the fence. So what happened when Manny fought him and won? A lot of them jumped on the other side like, oh, I still like Keith. I mess with him. But I like this guy, this Manny. So that's some more popularity for Manny. It's hard to get more popular, especially if you're not like a speaker or something like that. You don't have another form besides boxing. If boxing was your only form, you don't have like an outreach for people and stuff like that, then you're not going to become more popular. There's only certain people that live and die and still become more popular. More people want to know about them. Like people still want to know about Muhammad Ali. But people, they don't know nothing about Floyd. They just like, Floyd? Who the hell is Floyd? Mayweather. They don't know him. The people, the youngsters coming up now, they don't know. And if it is because of the social media, they might know him for that, but that's it. But are those the ones that you want to be that popular with? And if they was true, like fans, if those was true fans, then you should have $1 billion fight coming up. Because like I said, they got to pay that for that pay-per-view. Even if it's $100, think about it. 100, what is 100 times 23 million? That's $2.3 billion. So you should have at least a $2.3 billion fight coming up. This should be in hand. Let me see what y'all got here. Gil Cole said, I didn't pay for the Conor fight. But you're a Floyd fan, man. You strapping. You should have paid for it. Yeah, I didn't pay for it either. Derek Bailey said, me either, Gil Cole. Okay, Derek Bailey, Gil Cole. And then Derek Bailey at the bottom, he said, yeah, that's true, Eagle. He said most people thought Floyd should have lost when Roger came in the ring. There you go. That's what it is. And that's why a lot of people, and some people just based on that, on the rules, they hate him just because that's a big rule breaker right then. Because that's worse than, because sometimes even a towel is not really allowed, but people will still do that. But what you do is you stand up, you have somebody else, you have the commissioner. So the fight is not going to be stopped if the commission gets up. So you have the commissioner tell them to stop it, that's it. That's how you're going to do it legally, is you have the commissioner do it. You don't do it yourself, because once you're up on the apron, the fight's over with. You don't even have to enter the ring. Once you get up on the apron, the fight's over with. Once you stand in the corner on the apron, it's over with. And see, and I'm going to tell you that a lot of the hate for Floyd comes from a lot of the Hispanic fans. And it comes not because of that, not because of the Zab Judah fight. It's that early fight. It was Castillo, because of those fights. Even though Floyd came back and win, but I'm saying because of those fights, that's where a lot of the hate comes from. A lot of the hate comes from that. And a lot of the hate comes from, oh, he's pretending to celebrate. He's putting on sombreros and stuff like that because that's what Roger used to do. A lot of it comes from that because it's like you're mocking somebody's culture. That doesn't make you like a popular fighter because they'll just say, oh, yeah, I don't like him. That's all they'll say. Oh, I want to see him lose. They'll pay for it. Because most people I even talk to, they're like, no, I didn't pay for Floyd's fight. No, we're going to see it for free, man. Well, we trying to figure out a way we can go see the fight for free because guess what? We're fight people. We're fight fans. So we want to go see, if we can see the fight for free. But I'm gonna do this discussion though, because we still got to finish this whole alpha thing, because we start talking about something that I don't even like. I don't like messing with that whole thing. But the face right now for me is Manny. But we're trying to find out why all these fighters are stuck on beta. And I read something about Canelo's supposed to be like all of a sudden he's developing some kind of power. And we just talked about that. Don't bring that power shit up. Because if you start bringing up power when a fighter's been fighting got over 40 fights and you start bringing up stuff like he got more power now. And yes, you got a power coach or something like this. Yes, something dramatically happens. I don't want to hear about somebody's power. Because, especially if you're in the WBC. Because now what I see, and I know somebody going to say something about this. Because if I can see your knuckles through the glove and you say your power went up, of course your power went up. You ain't got no padding in the front of your gloves. But that subject has been brought up a lot of times. I'm not here to make up the excuses. I'm here to bring out the the facts and the evidence. Whatever is being shown to us, if you understand what I'm saying. So a lot of this stuff is being shown to us, and we could either ignore it or we could say, you know what? I believe that. I'm gonna go with that. You know what I'm saying? We can go with it, or we can just say forget it. I'm not gonna go with it. If somebody's taking an ass whooping that we see, and we think that's what it was, that was an ass whooping. That's all it was. Then that's what it is. But if we feel another way, like no, that wasn't no ass whooping. That was some bullshit in there. Then that's what we go by. And that's what it is. Simple. It's very simple. As simple as that. But everybody's gonna have their a different side of it. But the way I try to present it is I try to present it with just the evidence is right here, is what we're seeing. I'm going by what we're actually seeing. I'm not going by past this and past that, because I'm telling you now, man, and you're going to be like, oh, Eagle was right. That trying to compare yourself to Muhammad Ali with anybody, any fighter, it just doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. Sometimes you just can't put yourself as a comparison with people, because it's like, oh man, he was phenomenal. He's something else. Mike Tyson didn't do it. And all these other fights, Lennox Lewis didn't do it. George Foreman didn't even do it. And George Foreman came back and got another title at 45. He didn't even do it. You see what I mean? So is Floyd going to come back at 45 and just take out a title holder? He'd have to do something. I mean, it's too late now, though, but he would have to do something like phenomenal. But there's nothing you can do. You can't change anything. You can't change your brand. You can change it, but for the young people coming up, but it's not going to be a boxing brand no more. Yeah, you got that right, Derek Brady. He said, first of all, he said, yeah, okay. He said, compare yourself to Ali will get you, yeah. It just gets you hated. That's all it gets you. In all the boxing circles, it just gets you hated, because everybody it's just because of what he stood for. Because you got to make yourself stand for, the popular thing of today, not the popular thing of what he stood for back then, but the popular thing of the day. So if he was coming up, we can only guess what he would have stood for today. He would have probably stood behind his nation and all that. He wouldn't have got as much hate for it. So his beliefs, he would have still went with his beliefs. He would have still been like the articulate person, able to talk, able to clown and all that. He would have still been that same type of personality. But if you just did the opposite, if you put Floyd back there with Sugar Ray Robinson or them, or it's not even go back that far, but he was back there with Sugar Ray Leonard and all them, he wouldn't have been. His mouth probably wouldn't have been as big. He wouldn't have been talking as much, and he would have had to fight some foes. He would have had some. No matter his style, I don't know how good it would have worked out for him. And I'm thinking that for sure it wouldn't have worked out against Tommy Hearns. It wouldn't have worked out with Tommy Hearns, and it wouldn't have worked out with Hagler. It might not have worked out with Sugar Ray, or even Roberto Duran, or even Wilfred Benitez. It might not have worked out as well. So we're talking about a whole different area of, because you're talking about an era back then where you had great boxers. The skill sets still could be, those same skill sets could be used today. Certain skill sets couldn't be used today and you win. Like just be a winner. But back then, yeah, certain areas, certain fighters, that skill set still goes up to today. Still modern. Just the equipment's different, the training's different. But that's it. That's what it is. You know what I mean? But we, like I said, we never even really got to finish. We didn't even really get into it. But if we're looking at like some of the fighters and stuff, so just like with Regis. with Swamp Monster. So with Swamp Monster, you know, he might be making alpha moves, or he might have made some alpha moves, but is everything he's done, has that been an alpha move? Well, when you take a L, then that's not alpha. So that means your last fight, was you trying to go out like on your shield, or was you like, damn, I got to get this dude? Was you trying to get that win? Was you heavily trying to get the win and it just didn't work out? Derek Bailey got his eyes big. He said Blue Blood made a video saying that Floyd could have competed in Robinson era. Floyd would have got knocked out in Robinson's era. You talking about the Robinson that's right underneath me? Floyd would have got knocked out in Robinson's era. Because he's going to definitely get hit. Robinson didn't care about getting hit. Floyd was going to get tagged. He's going to get that body work. Because, matter of fact, the thing about it is you're talking about somebody who threw hard punches versus somebody who just throw like a lot of more counters than anything. Yeah, he would have been getting hands put on him. He wasn't going to fight at that kind of pace, though. Because he would have been sitting back, and I can see it, that he probably would have, he'd have got Robinson with a couple of shots, but he was getting some shots back. Because Robinson's not doing that little jump in shit like that little, I'm going to time you shit like Manny did. He's not doing that little two-step jump in. And he could change up and switch up on you too. But everything you getting hit with was going to be hard. Gil down there. Wilder not speaking on this allegations makes me question these allegations no matter what I think happened during the prior fight. Well, see, that's the whole thing, Gil, is we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So publicly, a lot of times you don't want to say nothing. Because there may be some kind of case that gets settled outside the court or anything else. We don't know. And see, I don't know that. But because I put all my... See, when I put that out there... So I put everything out there for me. I said, if it's not some kind of lawsuit or something like that, then just leave it alone. You got to leave that alone if it's not some kind of lawsuit or something like that. Because I'd be getting paid. If somebody did me like that, I'd be getting paid. I'm like, no, I'm getting paid on this one. I'm getting paid on that. From the WBC and Tyson. I'm getting in from the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Because I believe I think I was reading something that they actually had to pay out some money one time. They had to pay out $31.5 million to somebody. That was just a quick read. I was just going through something. I was like, what? Huh? All we got to do is check them out, check out the thing, see how much they get paid. And so if that's the case, I'll definitely be trying to get paid on that. Because if anything, if you look at the gloves themselves, man, when you look at one glove versus the other glove, when you look at them so-called new, them gloves was already broken in. Them gloves was not new. And you're supposed to wear, you have to, the rules state that you got to wear new gloves. You got to wear new gloves, man. I don't know. It's just, you're right, though. It's fishy. It's like, ain't nobody saying that. Nobody... The whole thing is we can't wait. We sitting on pins and needles. We can't wait for somebody to act. Like, at least act on it. Oh, yeah, you said because Floyd said that he could have fought. Yeah, he could have won 109-0 or something. Floyd would have had to fight a lot more people, too, though. And he wouldn't have, and believe me, he wouldn't have beat somebody like Jake LaMotta. He wouldn't have beat Jake LaMotta. You say a lot of Robinson's fights was bums and some other crap. Nah. You got to look at it, man, because if you're looking back, you're looking at probably your grandfathers and your great-grandfathers, how tough they was back then. Guys was way tougher right back then, man. This is before, see, now I get into this whole subject, but I'm not going to, y'all know who I am, man. I'm going to tell you. But before all these inoculations and stuff like that, these people back there was tougher. Believe me. The people of the past, them warriors of the past, was way tougher than these warriors of the day. Because even the weaponry that they use now, the modern stuff compared to what they had to use back then, way different. It was man on man. And they did some brawling back then. They could take a whole lot more too. These fighters can't take, but just think about just think about what I just said. Jake LaMotta versus Floyd. Just think about it. And you thinking that the counters and stuff was going to get him off of him or get him hurt? He definitely would not go down. And then also, the longer you had to fight, it wasn't going to be no standing still and standing against the rope, inviting somebody in. No. You're going to get hit. And back then, they would have hit him in his back, hit him in his, and see, the difference being is you got fighters today, like even in this era, it's too easy to argue the point. Because another thing with Floyd, and like I said, man, the best way, and see Deontay Wilder, man, I put the information out there, the easiest way to beat him is just hit him on top and back of the head. All you got to do is just, not necessarily rabbit punch him, all you got to do is throw some looping punches at him. You're going to win. Just keep doing it every round. You're going to win, man. Until he gets over that shit, you're going to win. And Floyd's another one. Any kind of dirty shit, Floyd is folding up and calling the ref or bending over, acting like he got hit low or something like that. Frustration. He would have got way more frustrated. See, a lot of these fighters couldn't frustrate him because he adapt real quick. But back then, the trainers was different. Well, do this then. They always going to have something new to do to him to make him break out that shell. We'll do this. Okay, well, that didn't work. Well, we're going to try this. And that's exactly what happens. They're going to keep trying shit until he break down. And the fights, like I said, longer, hot, it's just something else. 15 rounds. 15. You don't get the luxury of 12 where you can escape. I like that 15 rounds anyway. It's harder in a 15-round fight to have a draw. Because everybody going to have that even round somewhere around there. Yep. Yeah. Derek Bay said, I guess Wilder want his get back in that $40 million payday. Yep. See, and that's what I was saying. So I want both though. I want to get back. I want to knock your ass out, and then I want to bankrupt you afterward. Then I want to go to court after that. Because you get up to, 2 years? Yeah, that's what I want after that. I get my belt back, knock your ass out, and then on top of that, I want your money. I want you bankrupt. I want you to be a real gypsy after that. I want you to be a bum-ass gypsy. Yeah, and then even Derek Bailey, he understood. He said, yeah, Eagle said, man, was way tougher and stronger back in the day. That's what I'm saying. You can't hold up to, that's what I say, that's what I always talk about. When you hear me talk about it, I don't even talk about, like, I talk about my grandfather every once in a while, but most I don't talk about stuff like that. I talk about the people before him, like way back. I'm talking about your ancestors was something else, man. Because sometimes they had to fight animals off and shit. They didn't have no pistols and shit like that. Sometimes animals get out of line, but most of the animals knew, man, because we knew how to set up certain stuff to in our camp to allow the animals to know. So the wolves and shit and bears come by, they be like, oh, okay, they got the humans over there. If we had to, like, you think a bear is going to attack you if there's a bear head on a tree? There's a bear head on a tree. You think a bear is going to come in there and attacking somebody when he already see and smell that bear head right there, or a wolf? You sitting there with a wolf but 2 feet cut off of him at the edge of your camp. You think wolves are gonna come in there and start some shit? No. That's just examples, but I'm just saying they're not gonna come start no shit when they see stuff like that. But we know how to keep them all out. But every once in a while, you get a crazy animal come up in there, and what happened? Yeah, Derek Baker said, I always say bet on the guys who fought 15 rounds. And before that, they fought longer. Now, the guys who fought longer, that was a little bit different. They had to be in shape, too. Think about it, man. Damn. If you think about it, you've been fighting for 30 rounds. Yep, there you go. That's the key is what you put up right there. You said, plus Floyd didn't hit as hard as Robinson. Floyd, brittle hand, wouldn't hold up. No, for 15 rounds. And just think, he would have broke his hand on Jake LaMotta. He would have broke his hands. He wouldn't have been able to throw no more rights. Because LaMotta would have let him hit him clean. Oh, that's all you got? And once he broke his hand, that'd be all over with. It'd be over with for him. I don't care what kind of counter you got. If you can't throw a broken hand, you either got stopped. He got TKO'd. I see Robinson. If Robinson didn't knock him out, I see him like way out pointing him. I see Lamada knocking his ass out. TKO. Maybe not a KO, but at least TKO. They would have had to stop it on injury or something. Yeah. But anyway, the ancestors, man, like I said, our ancestors, that's what I'm saying, man. This is my thing, D to the baby, is I always want to be known as, as somebody who, tried to hold the torch up, for his ancestors. I wouldn't want my ancestors to be this, like, totally disgusted with me, even though we're in this the so-called modern stuff that we have to do, this modern age, modern era. And that's why I come out and teach, man. They be like, man, he telling us what it is. Because people don't even understand how deep this deception is, man. You don't understand that nothing, almost anything that you do is not something that you need to be doing or should be doing. Almost everything that we do, our whole way is completely twisted. And so we celebrate when somebody is success. Just think about it. I'm gonna drop you with one right now. So people get happy and are excited when somebody does good at doing something in a way of life that they shouldn't even be living. So in other words, you're happy with somebody who's successful at doing something that they should never in a lifetime been successful at. Just like with the whole money thing, because DB was the one that brought up the price of the silver on Friday when we was talking about the silver. So the trick, even that whole trick was because of the money in the first place. Because the silver was not necessarily, that wasn't necessarily a thing that we always just use for money. We used it for craftsmen too, to show your status too. You always use that. It's always been the shiny stuff, like the certain stones and certain shells and the gold and silver and stuff like that. That's always been something to show your wealth. But now what? Now we got fake wealth, and we got people happy, and we got, oh yeah, how'd you make so much money? And we got people celebrating you on how you made your money deceptively. And at doing stuff, see, here's the thing, is that you're becoming successful at doing stuff that there's nobody in your ancestry tree that would be happy that you did. But guess what? People are not going to think about that, because they're all looking, it's all about do as thou will. The Aleister Crowley stuff, see, is that everybody wants to do as they will, see, because you're not really caring. Your whole ancestry has just failed. It just dropped, because what we do now is we use our ancestry as just a title of something, our lineage. We talk about where we came from, just like African Americans. A lot of them who ain't even African Americans think they came from Africa, when a lot of them was already here. They wasn't in no damn Africa. They're originally people. Just like my people, we're all split up. They don't know. Yeah, I'm Iroquois, yeah, but they're mixed up. And a lot of them, like, and see, this is the language. See, I was listening to a sister talk, and she said that she's proud, she's happy. She said, I still got she said, my grandmother and us, we still got our brown skin. So what is that story telling you? See, an idiot is not going to read into that story. He's not going to see he's not going to understand what she's saying. We still got our brown skin. Still got our language. And this is the thing that kills me with certain cultures, is that they don't have no part, and they think that their ancestors would have let them lose every bit of their culture. Every bit. Is that it was beaten out of them. You can't beat stuff out of people today. Think about it. Even if I don't use violence against you, there's no way I can. Once a person's mind is set, you can't beat you can't beat it out of them, no matter what you want. In the long run, they may give them, oh, I guess you're right. But guess what? Is that out of their mind? Whatever's in here Stays in here. You can't beat it out of there. Even your parents teach you that when you're growing up. Whatever you put in your mind to, or what is on your mind or in your brain, whatever learning you have, stays there. So first of all, that's my biggest question is how did, for instance, the so-called slaves, how did they lose their language? How do you lose your language in the first place? There has to be something else to happen to you for you to lose your language. A people cannot make you lose your language. They cannot. If it's past, they cannot. They're not with you the whole 24/7. Because I'll be sitting there talking my language in my sleep. And we know how to cut stuff off. We know how to cut it off. You know, if I was in that situation, yes, master, whatever. But I'm still speaking. I got to pass something on. What kind of man or woman would do that? One that just get everything just beat out of them, of course. I can understand beatings and stuff like that. You might be a person who grew up with beatings. You might not have forgot them beatings. But you'll remember what, and here's the thing, is that you remember why you got beat. You see what I mean? Oh, you use that African word? I'm going to beat you for it. You ain't going to remember that? Is that going to beat the word out of you? Are you going to remember the word? Are you going to remember the beating in the word? Or are you going to just forget the word and just remember the beating? Because you're going to remember why you got in trouble. That's how you discipline in the first place. You discipline by letting somebody know what they did wrong in order for the disciplinary action to work. If they don't know what they did, they'll never be, you won't discipline them if they never knew what they did. If it makes sense. Sometimes things don't make sense to people. And that's just sad. That's bad and sad when things just don't make sense. You know, we didn't really get into the whole thing, but we're going to get into it. Because I'm tired of these fighters coming up, and I'm tired of people just acting like, oh, this fighter's this fighter's that. That's why this discussion is going to be ongoing, even if I don't do the next show straight like this. But it's going to be ongoing. That we need to get rid of these betas and stuff, and who's making the alpha moves? Who's making the alpha moves? Because I don't want to hear about all of a sudden you got new punching power and all. I don't want to hear all that stuff. And is Martinez coming back to fight you? Because you know Sergio Martinez. Oh well, I think he already has the fight set up for August 21st. But yeah, or De La Hoya is supposed to start sparring in 2 weeks. Who are all these fighters? These old faces. Who are they fighting? And why? And if these fighters are such alphas, then why are the old dogs coming back? The ones that we think is has-beens. How and why are they coming back? That's my whole thing. Why are they coming back? How? How are they being allowed to come back? I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows. But I don't know how they're being allowed to come back. They see something in you that they want to exploit and they want to take advantage of. But they shouldn't be on their way back, but they are. Yeah. We got to stop that though, man. We got to get this boxing back on track, man, so we don't have to keep having these conversations, man, because everybody always thinks that you're supposed so Derek Bailey, this is I think you're still here. But so this is the point that I was making, Derek Bailey. Is when I was trying to, you know, when I try to teach somebody something. So this is the point I'm making. Because a lot of people just don't get it. They just don't get it. And I brought this up a long time ago. As I said, well, why is man the only creature that's even interested in getting bigger and stronger? Like at every generation, why is he the only one that can, out of all the creatures, you're the only one that can get bigger and stronger and faster? But the faster, it don't always work. The steroids and shit wear out, and you just don't get bigger and stronger and faster. And people are actually thinking that, they believe in that. They think the man started off at 4'1", something like that, but you're getting bigger and stronger. But there's no other animals that are getting bigger like that. Because if for the size of a man, that you got parents, they're both, prospectively, the wife is 5'6", and the husband's, let's say, 5'10", and they're just average size. So they're average size. So the man weighs at that height, he weighs like about 165. That's a good size for him. That's good enough. This is a nice little lean size. And the mom, at her weight, she's like 130 pounds. But all of a sudden, you come into existence, and you're 6'4", and you weigh 350 pounds. But you're the only so-called species, or you're the only creature that happens to. And why do you think that happened? People don't even understand the manipulations have been done a long time ago. Sometimes it fails, and this is my opine too. Sometimes I look at it and I feel, oh, that failed. Whatever inoculations they took did not work for them. Whereas you got the same two parents again, and they end up with this little runt. They end up with a grown man in their midst who's only like 4 foot. He's like 4'10". He's like 4'10", weighs like 95 pounds. And he's a grown ass man. Now, if you look at DNA, the way that they say DNA works is that DNA is part from your mom and part from your dad. And then they break it down even further. They break it down into X and Y chromosomes and all that determines the sex and all that. But the size characteristics is supposed to be there. But why isn't it there? And see, people ain't even waking up to know there's something happened. There's something that's making some people come out huge, and some of them come out real small. And it's something it has nothing to do with the parents. It has nothing to do with the parents. I can see if you're in your family, everybody's within, 3-4 inches of each other. That's different. But you're not going to have a monster and then have one closer to a midget at the same time without it being something. And then they're trying to teach people, they're trying to say that things have mutated or mutated. Because usually a mutation, guess which one, out of a positive mutation, you're going to have somebody big, right? If it's positive in a good sense. But most mutations, I was trying to break this down to somebody the other day. I said, most mutations mean that there's a breakdown. That means you mutated. If I'm mutated, that means something's effed up on me. That don't mean I'm bigger. That don't mean I'm stronger. It's just like they saying that like certain viruses and stuff like that, codes that they mutate. Yeah, of course. You're going to wear it inside your body different than I do. But your body breaks it down. It doesn't make it stronger. But they always try to make it seem like things are stronger. The things that get stronger is stuff like weeds and stuff like that. Because they had to adapt. Like you're talking about stuff outside where you keep poisoning everything. Of course it gets stronger. It gets stronger or weaker because first they die out. But then something triggers inside them to where they change to where they're not going to die out as fast or they're not going to die out as much. Because now they're like, okay, I got to become, if I'm going to be a living species, I have to get stronger. And so they try that same thing on us. But a lot of times it just doesn't work. They end up weeding us out. They kill us. So that's my word of caution for people if you understand what I'm saying. So just be careful with somebody putting either, if they put 2 fangs in you, be careful. If they put 1 fang in you, just be careful out there. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I see you put True down there. Yep. Yeah, but you're supposed to be the same, man. You're not supposed to be, you don't get this like huge compared to your foreparents and stuff like that. Just like, they got blue whales, which is the biggest creature on the whole earth. You know what I'm saying? They're not all of a sudden going to have because it's been hundreds of years, thousands of years, they got blue whales out there. You're not all of a sudden going to have a damn blue whale that's twice as big as any other blue whale has ever been. Which I don't even know what the heaviest blue whale's been. I know it's tons. Say like 200-300 tons. Something like that. Now you got a blue whale that's 500 tons. Really? He didn't do that. Nature didn't do that to him. The natural order did not do that to him. Something else done that to him. To where he's that damn big, he can't even hardly move, man. He flapping and damn near sinking everything in the. He's disturbing the whole ocean being that big. I mean, he big as a ship. You know what I mean, he like what is it, 400, 500 feet long, because that's probably what he would have to be, 500, 600 feet long, and shit. Just think about the girth on him and all that, and he's sitting there weighing, 800 tons or something like that. That's a wrecking machine, right? It's an ocean wrecking machine. He'd tear up everything in the ocean being that big. Yeah, he'd definitely be the alpha though. But we're gonna get back into this, man. We're gonna get some alpha talk, man. Try we get a couple of more butts in the seat. Because I don't know who's gonna look at the replay, but nice anyway. It don't matter. I mean, come in, this is nice. But because what I wanted to tell you guys in the first place, and this is just my opinion as always, my estimation, and don't ask me how I came up with it, but it's through different sources, biblical sources and other sources that I figured out, is that a person is basically is like 1 out of 50,000 people. You understand? It's 1 out of 50,000 people that actually are open and will accept something that's truthful. 1 out of 50,000. And I see you down there all extra closing statement late as we meet TV till this day we are kings. That's right. But anyway, salute to you. He said Eagles Web, salute Eagles Web Boxing. So 1 out of 50,000 people that actually want knowledge. And I'm not talking about book smart knowledge. I'm not talking about book knowledge, but knowledge that is passed on that we need to pass on to our people after us. It's only 1 in 50,000. The rest of the 49,999 just want to remain in the dark and remain dumb. Because like I said before, it doesn't take a lot to explain that which is true. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes the right speaker. And like when we had this guy in here, what was his name? Leak, whatever. I don't know what his name was. Now I forget his name. Because he's not that important. This was kept saying that everybody has a voice box, everybody should be heard and all that. I said, no, sometimes some people need to shut the F up. Everybody don't need to speak. A lot of times I'll go watch seminars, I'll go watch certain stuff, and a lot of times they'll have more than one speaker. And some of the speakers, I'm like, well, why did they even get up? They didn't need to share their story. Just sit down. Nobody want to hear your story. But we are people of storytelling and truth telling. That's what we tell. And it's only like a certain amount. And the reason I brought this up, the reason I brought the 1 out of 50,000 is that this is what my understanding of my chat, this small chat, is that I actually have some of those ones out of the 50,000, which is crazy, that actually end up in here. So even if I just had one, just think about it. A lot of people have these big forums and stuff like that. If I had 1 or 2 in this small forum, 1 or 2 out of the 50,000 that actually wanted to understand something that was truthful, that's big. For me, that's big, because besides this boxing talk, I try to talk to the people to get them on a higher plane of understanding, to see that even all the stuff that we're doing, whether it's boxing, all the stuff that we do is not something that we necessarily should be doing. Our ancestors probably would be frowning at us doing the things that we do, because the things we have made things important, this should have never become important. The most important thing you could do right now is sit down with your family at night. Even if you're not going to sit down with the whole community, sit down with your family at night and just talk and, have a good meal, something nice and healthy for you. And just talk about, where we have come versus our ancestors, where we're at right now, and find a way to pass on the information. So everybody don't get so much into the tech to all they do is working on computers and stuff like that. Oh, I just got this new software, this and that, You know what I mean? Everybody, oh, I got a new software. Oh, I got this new software. Check out this new program, new games and this, that, blah, blah, blah. And that's all your whole focus. You go to work You come home and you play games and you do all this other stuff. And that's how the culture is really lost, because you're not going to lose your language. I'm telling you, nobody's going to beat your language out of it. So that's what I have a whole problem with, that whole slavery thing. It's like, no, how are you going to get your whole language beat out of you? Okay, so because us as natives, what happened is we lost the language. Some of the languages are disappearing, and they say that we're losing every 30 minutes. We're losing another language. And as far as natives, we're losing another language every 30 minutes. That's how many we had. And that's what they say. Every 30 minutes, we're losing another language is lost. Another native tongue is lost. But what happened is, because of the scoldings and stuff, is we couldn't use the languages in the schools. And they took us out of our schools, and they took us out of our way of learning. But that doesn't mean you... And so when you take a person out of the whole household, it's different. If I'm taken out of the household, it's different, because now I'm out the whole household. Well, who's going to take them, especially if I'm young? That's the only way you can do it. If you got to take the young ones out of the home. But if you take a family, you're not going to take a language. How you going to take a language when you take the whole family? If you take a whole family, they're like, okay, yes, boss. And then as soon as you leave, they talking. You see what I mean? And that's how you can that's the only reason you can do it. Only way you can do it is take the kids, but you got to take them at a certain age. Usually, yes, they'll die if you take them before they finish, breastfeeding. They'll die if they ain't got no teeth or nothing like that. So, the only way you can really do it, and if they showed us in history, they talk about families and stuff like that. You have to keep families. Because if you didn't, then the kid would be so heartbroken, he's not going to live very long. All his whole family is gone and all that. But they're going to pass, and that couldn't have happened to every family. So something had to be passed along. That's what I don't get when these different slave cultures from, not even just the United States, when they talk about that, how they lost everything. I'm like, no, you can't. They couldn't have got everybody. Somebody had to pass, even if it was 4 words, you had to pass it down. That's what he done at DB. He said, I agree, Eagle. And then he down there again. He said, damn, every 30 minutes. Yeah, every 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes, one of our languages is lost. I don't know who does the counting, but they got all these statistics. They know what they're doing. For them, for us, it's a tragedy. For them, it's a celebration. Finally got them damn natives to stop speaking their language. But first of all, just to let people know who don't understand, is that man did not give us our language in the first place. So, your language, if you are African American or if you are African, your language can never be lost. Even though we're losing languages every 30 minutes, it can't. If you have the right connection, your language is not lost. All you have to do is retrieve it. That's all you got to do is just retrieve it. If it's lost, that's all you got to do. You just got to retrieve it. Once you retrieve it, then you're speaking your language again. So, oh shit, I got my language back. And I'm not talking about retrieving that, because what happens is a lot of people, they go and they start speaking like Swahili because they think they from, that area. And that's what they teach in the prisons. There's a lot of the African Americans will go learn the Swahili. But see, we go to prisons and stuff, we just still speak our tongue. Or another one that they use is the Arabic, because they go in, they become Muslims and stuff like that. Natives too. Natives become Muslim. We all do, because we do the same thing that everybody else does. But the thing about it is that you already have your language. But the thing is nobody's ever wondered why your brain compared to your body is so big in a human. Nobody's figured that out. Why is your brain so big? Huh? Because you're supposed to be using it, and you're not using it. Your brain is big because there's information that you can pull out of that brain, out of that heart, that mind, that you're not able to, because you're distracted with so much other bullshit. And they're constantly feeding you shit that you don't need. What happens when you keep constantly feeding somebody something that they don't need? What's gonna happen? And that's not a mental thing. It's not just mental. If you feed somebody something that they don't need, what's going to happen after a while? And that's why they try to feed you this. I'm going to put it in perspective. A lot of times they try to feed you with this cow's milk, And then they say, oh, a lot of people are, oh yeah, natives and other people. And have you ever wondered why that natives and African Americans and stuff like that, or they can't drink the cow's milk? You ever wondered why? But then there's certain people who can drink cow's milk, all kinds of milk and stuff. Why? Why can't you drink milk? It's not your mother's milk. But why can't you? Because your body's not on that level. Your body, no, I don't drink that. Give me some of that. Is that a mom nursing over there? Yeah, give me some of her milk. You know what I mean? If you really need the milk. But why can't you drink milk? People don't figure it out. Why can't you have certain stuff? So if you keep constantly giving yourself something that you cannot take or you don't need, even if it's mentally, what's going to happen? There's going to be an explosion somewhere. You're going to snap or something's going to happen if you keep getting information. It's going to make you realize, because your stomach has a brain too. People don't know that, but your stomach has brain matter too. So your stomach understands what's down in there, what it should do. That's why even if you have something wrong with your brain, that your stomach still can recognize what to do with the food. See? That's why they can still tube feed you and your stomach still know what to do. But what happens when you get fed something over and over that you don't need? What's going to happen? You don't need it. What's going to happen? Anything. If you drink too much water, what's going to happen? If you drink too much water too fast, it can actually expire your ass. But what happens? You lose the taste for it. And see, what happens is they feed us a lot of stuff that that we don't need, and we're conditioned not to lose the taste for it. Isn't that crazy that you are so conditioned to where you're not going to lose the taste for it? You should lose the taste for it. Just like when it comes to these constantly being fed lies and stories all day long, but we're not going to lose the taste for it. Man, come on, you got to lose the taste for it. And then when you lose the taste for something like, say for instance, if it's just lies, if you lose the taste for lies, then you will gain the appetite for what? Then you're going to gain the appetite for the truth, right? So your appetite for truth is going to be bigger. Because you already lost your taste. I lost my taste for all them lies. Because I can see it when people walk over to me sometimes. I know the lies coming. I'm like, oh, here come this. Let me hear this lie. I'm like, okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening. That's when I got to say I'm listening. You shouldn't have to tell somebody that you're listening. If you got to tell somebody you're listening, then it's probably they lying to you. That's why you got to say I'm listening, or some bullshit you don't want to hear. You see what I mean? But if it's something you want to hear, you don't necessarily have to say it. But if you, like in a chat, you might want to write. You might want to write it. You might, oh yeah, I got you got my attention right on, man. Bet. Thanks for bringing that out. Appreciate it. Keep going. Something like that. But if you're talking, you just shut up. You just, oh, I ain't gonna say nothing. You just shaking your head like, oh, right. And then when they stop, you don't even want them to stop, man. It's not too many people that I often listen to where I just don't want them to stop. I'm like, man, how much time we got? I'm worried. And the reason I'm worried about time, because I'm like, damn, he probably got to go. Or she probably got to go. I need to hear this. You see what I mean? Is they got to go. I'm like, man, this the information my body's been yearning and wanting this information all my damn life. But no. You're going to get information, especially when you turn on that television, you're going to get information and shit that you don't want. No, not this again. And people talk that way. Yeah, I see you, Derek, but he said I agree. He said, every 30 minutes. Yeah, every 30 minutes, brother. Then he put down, definitely. He said, yeah, that's the first language people go to is Swahili. See, I already know. And there you go. We never drink it. You drink your mother's milk. What are you drinking another animal's milk for? If your mom's breast dried up, that means it's time for your ass to go on to something else. Shit. If you need breast milk that bad, wait until you get the girl pregnant and then let the baby have his share, then you take a little bit. If you really need the milk. That's it. What you doing drinking all that stuff? So all you dairy product eating people, y'all better pay attention where it come from and how they make it. Like cheese and all that. Now cheese sitting there. Now cheese attracts maggots, but you love cheese. And so if cheese is attracting the flies to put maggots on it, what is that telling you? Because where do flies put maggots in the first place? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's the way they got us. They got us doing so many things, eating so many different things, and it's just we're not getting it. That we got to get to that point, man. And this is the scholarship afterthoughts, you know. 'Cause we talk about certain stuff, but you never know when Eagle just stop and just start talking about something. And my word be appreciating it. You know, I my English is so bad it don't make sense, man. My English has always been bad, but I'm glad. I'm glad it's bad at points, because if I'm not doing my work or something at work, I got it's almost like a script that I've been played over and over in my head, and plus I'm just listening to what people say. I'm actually talking, you know, to a person. But if I just stand up and talk, like for me teaching, I can do that. But still, my tongue will be slipped all up. You know, I can't tell it. Yeah, there's no telling what come out. You know what I mean? I try to make it come out. I hope y'all understand what I say. I let it come out, because if I speak my language, you really ain't gonna understand. You really gonna be like, what the hell is he saying? Yeah. That's what I told my girl. I said, we go out here and speak to the people, so they'll just look at us like they're still around. I said, yeah. I said, it'd be so funny just to hold a conversation. And she doesn't even, we don't really speak each other's language. And that's what makes it even funnier. If you speak in two different languages at the same time that sound similar, and you're both speaking the language, that'll be hilarious. Just to see people like, huh, eyes get big because they don't know anything. That's right. Derek Bay, he said, yep, he said, no dairy, that's right. Because we can't be putting, you know, certain stuff we just ain't supposed to have, man. But nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to teach anybody none of it. They don't. It's like nobody cares, man. But what was your food though? That's the whole thing. What was your food? And see, like I said, once you keep getting stuff over and over again that you don't need, what happens is your body will start, and see, yeah, and then you start wondering, I wonder why I keep wanting this. Now your body has a craving. They call it a craving type of mechanism within your body. You know what I mean? When you start craving stuff, women have it when they get pregnant. They crave anything. They can crave dirt or anything. But see, what happens is that pregnant woman is actually telling you that you're missing something. And that's what people don't miss, because what they're doing is they're looking at her, but they don't understand that her whole essence is a teaching device throughout her years. When she's in that nurturing stage, when she's having that baby, see, and she tells you she craves. I'm not saying if she craves something retarded, then she's probably not really craving. If she says she wants pickles and ice cream, then that's different. I mean, that has nothing to do with you. But if she starts craving stuff like dirt and stuff like that, that means what she's letting you know is you need to get some more minerals. You need to get some more stuff out the ground, some more wholeness into your system. That's what she's letting you know. But they're not going to teach you that. Nobody's going to teach you that. They just don't. Because they rely on all kinds of other animals and stuff. You don't rely on your own self as being your own creature. You don't rely on the information that your wife gives you, and she doesn't rely on the information that you give her. Same thing with the kids or something like that. And so you you start taking in these other things, and like I said, with this craving, you know, it's not really a craving. Now, if you're craving like sugar, that's different. Because a lot of the times, a craving for sugar is just a water craving. You need some fresh water. And try it sometime. If you ever crave something sweet, just drink 2 glasses of water, fresh water, and see what happens. That shit's going to go away. You're like, wait a minute, I needed some water. I was dehydrated. But I'm not used to my body's craving because it's mixed up because all the stuff I've been getting that I shouldn't have been having in my system. So this what happens is you're going to start wanting these things that your body needs to have. And if you don't get those things, you'll lose your appetite. You're gonna just stop not want. You just don't want no kind of food. I don't even want this. You feel like eating? Nah, I don't feel like eating. Because guess what? Your body has been allowing you to take trash in for so long. See that a lot of times you just don't. I don't even want nothing. Because your body's been allowing you to just take trash in and trash in and trash in. And then when you finally get something that you need, now your stomach and everything is so excited and going crazy. And then that becomes, then your regular food, your real food becomes your staple of food again. Yeah. Oh yeah, Craig said there's a cheese that they eat. It's over in, you said, yeah, I see what you said you eat in Italy that has maggots in it when you eat it. He said it's a delicacy. But it's the excretions from the maggot that they use. So the cheese comes back out, and there's certain places in not just Italy, other places, there's other cheeses and stuff. And then they have there's a popular one called Blue. It's called blue cheese. That's all mold. That's all. A lot of stuff they'll lie and tell you enzymes or whatever. It's just mold. It's just mold. Animal parts. They put the animal parts in there and stuff like that, and that's their formula. Oh, just put some animal drop in, and you never know what it is. Some animal parts in there and make it, firm it up and all that. Cook it down, let it firm up, smash the fat parts of it together and all that. Because if it was just fat, it wouldn't do all that. Because fat don't do that. It takes a long time for fat to start. If you just have some fat, if it's just pure fat, if it doesn't have like any particles in there, it'll take it forever to get any kind of mold or anything on there. It's not. If it's just the fat, so we know it's the actual body parts of the animal. It's animal parts. There's some cells in there, like animal fleshy cells and all that type of stuff. Yep. He said people don't listen to me, but I tell them not to eat cheese and drink milk. Tell me to mind my business. That's it. And remember, I told you, man, that this is in my opinion. There's 1 out of 50,000 people. So guess what? If you're talking to your family, you're probably not going to run into that 1 out of 50,000 that wants to learn anything that's truthful. Because that's what it's about, man. It's a sad number. It's a real sad number. And I did that based on the so-called population of the earth, and that's why I came up with that number. That 1 out of 50. It's only 1 out of 50,000. So I'm saying it may be a lifetime. You might not ever meet anybody who wants to even know anything about anything that's truthful, because they're complacent to what the life and everything that they live in. They're just they love. Oh, I love this. I love it. They love everything. Yeah. We meet to this day. He said maggots and cheese don't sound as mac and cheese. Yeah. But guess what? You use that cheese to make your mac and cheese. Guess what you're doing? Now you still got maggot mac and cheese, and we're just saying maggot. That's just one. So if you use maggots, what is there a better insect to use than maggots, or something else? And just find out where did they get the what do they call it, rennet? Where did they get the rennet from? Where does that come from? They have an animal rennet, and they have a vegetable rennet. So, and mac and cheese. So, it's once you start messing with it, it's one of those things where you get kind of addicted to it. But yeah, my family don't mess with no dairy and stuff like that. All had to learn the hard way, because even when I grew up, we was kind of force fed that stuff, but it just wasn't doing no good. Because I used to be able to do like maybe half a cup. I couldn't be a milk drinker though. I could do like half a cup. Anything over that, it was gonna be horrible for the whole family. Anything over that, and that's not me being a baby, because a baby can, and people don't even see that like I said, your whole, if you're spread out with a generation, you got grandparents, parents, and you got kids all spread out, and you got infants. Then looking at all those stages together, you can see your life right in front of your eyes, and you can see how it's going. You wonder, how did it go to where your grandparents at? What happened in between there? And in between child in adolescence is where you get your biggest lessons, where you should be able to learn. Hey, this milk, this whole, even so we stuck on the milk thing. This milk ain't no good for us. So look at it. What does it do to you? The baby's off the bottle, but then you put yourself back on the bottle. You try to keep it. You're off the mom's breast, but then you're gonna get onto a cow's breast instead. Oh, it's a bigger breast. I'm gonna go on that cow's breast. Yep, get that cow's breast. See, you wasn't supposed to be on cow's breast. Your mama ain't no cow, and so you wasn't supposed to be on cow's breast. Yeah, but they come up with all kinds of stuff, man, to put you on. And like I said, all these everything is a distraction. I told you it's so big, I can't really cover it on my show. It's so big because everything is a distraction to us. Everything they got us doing is something that we would have never done. Never done. We wouldn't have been drinking no milk from no cows and stuff like that. No. We'd have never done none of this stuff. Never. But they, once they get you. But eventually, hopefully, people want out of it before they get too old. Like, you don't want to be 80 years old and it's finally waking up. That's too old to wake up. It wouldn't be too old because you never, and this is what I tell people, I said, nobody on this earth gets to live long enough to be old. You'll look old, but you never get to, because of how we live, we never get to be old anymore. We used to be old. Used to. But we never get to be old anymore. So we need some new people coming in that's going to get us back to being old. And I'm talking about like people after me. Because chances are, if you're over, even if you're over 12 right now, you ain't going to be old. You're not going to live, you're going to look old once you get old. Or so-called old, but you're not ever going to be old. It's just old is something that we don't get to live to be. And that's what happens. You just don't get there. And like I said, the reason you don't get there is because of all the things they have us to do. But that's a big one. Believe me, that whole dairy thing, that's a big one right there. But then this is the teaching right here, is that anytime somebody, when they keep saying something over and over again, I'm teaching you how to listen to a liar. When a liar says something over and over again, it's a lie. When he keeps using narrative over and over, when he passes it down from generation to generation, it's a lie. Now, every once in a while, and when the spokesperson seems credible, it's a lie. When the spokesperson seems like they're not credible, chances are that's the truth. And I see Don to the Dottor try to sneak in here all extra late because he thought Eagles was out. He's all Eagle out by now, so let me go on in here. Don does an Eagles wear box. You already know I'm gonna read the hieroglyphs, man. You already know. Don salute to Don. Eagles wear box. That Eagle up good. Got that web up good. You know the glove is up there, and he said hit that bell before you come down here. Thumbs up at the same time. He said neck is waiting on you if you act up because the Lions is on here. He said saw the big up in Custer's last against T-Bud salute. Custer's last stand. Yeah, don't do no Hey, don't let me that's my family, man. Don't let me do no I gotta be there on the set, man, to make sure it's accurate. Cause we gotta talk if you was really talking about that. I gotta be there to make sure it's accurate, man. Because we gotta do Sand Creek before we do that. Yeah. Last time anyway, yes, T-Bud, it's just salute fam. Yep. But that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. See? Is that the thing is, we get so used to doing things we're not supposed to, or listening to things we shouldn't be listening to. But like I said, if they keep publicizing it and saying it over and over again, it's a lie. It's a lie. And it's a double lie if somebody credible says it and they keep saying it over and over again. Oh, that does. Oh, Brian Custer. Okay. Up and coming Custer's last stand. I thought you were talking about the natives' last stand, but you talking about Brian Custer. Oh, Custer. Because you said Custers. And that's why if you said Custer, yeah, last stand. Yeah. But yeah, if they say it, if it's credible and they say it and they saying something, the person seems credible, they say it over and over, it's a damn lie. If they say it for a brief moment, your chances of it being truthful, especially if it's from somebody that you wouldn't expect to tell the truth, is probably truthful. Because that's how they work. That's how this whole thing works. When you hear it over and over again, it's a damn lie. It's a damn lie if you hear it over and over again. So if there's things in your life that you heard over and over again, and I know you meant Brian, you put brain. That's about the same, huh? Brain Custer. But yeah. So if you hear it over and over again, then we have to learn that, hey, that's not something that's truthful. If I heard it over and over again. But if I didn't, if I just heard it for a brief moment, it might just came through real quick. This quick update come through, then it's truthful. See, because lies. See, when you understand what I said before, and you guys already understand because you hold the conversation with me, and we say how long does the truth take to tell? Doesn't take very long. How long does a lie take to tell? And you have to keep changing it, and the narrative, the story has to keep going and going and going if it's a lie. See? But you got to not just understand that, you got to live that way. So that way you can easily pick it out. You say, oh, they lying. How many news broadcasts did it come on? Oh, they didn't said it too many times. Only time it might be true if it's an update on some kind of natural disaster. I mean, like a real natural disaster, not some bullshit that they came up with. But if it's like a fire somewhere, and then I would still check, because we had people that believed that the fires in my area was not true, and it was. They were there. But I'm gonna tell you something that you don't know. Is that the fires were not natural? No, because they didn't appear to be natural. And this is my opine on it, and this is what I'm gonna stay this way too, because I told people the same thing. I didn't just say this like, oh yeah, you just said no. I didn't just say it. Is that I believe that our fires, a lot of these fires, were chemical burn-offs, and where they was just naturally poisoning us, because the way the fires react is the bigger a fire gets, or the more fuel that you put on the fire, the hotter it gets. But as that fuel burns hotter and hotter and hotter, so what happens with I'm gonna add, I put this in your hands. So the fire gets hotter and hotter and hotter. So what happens with the smoke? Does the smoke get thicker and thicker and thicker? That's for you guys. Now, I'll give you the answer. If you don't know what the answer is, I'll give you the answer. I'm not going to give it to you right away. But if the fire is extra hot, have you ever, because I know some of you still cook, y'all eat that meat and stuff. So if you're barbecuing, and when you first start that fire, you throw that, I don't know if you use lighter fluid or use paper, wood, whatever. But when you first start it, what is the smoke like? But what is the smoke like once that fire gets like hot? As a matter of fact, did you know smoke burns? Right, smoke actually burns, right? If the fire is hot enough, it actually burns the smoke. Because if you had two different fires, one, you introduced a small fire to a big fire, just by the smoke itself going over to the big fire, it could actually, the fire from this burning that smoke can actually catch that small fire on the bigger fire, make it like blaze up. That smoke will actually catch on fire. So if you feed smoke to like a big fire, it just sucks right in. It helps that fire out. I'm not asking you to go try it. Just take my word on this one. I want y'all trying stuff like that, because it can also cause like a small flash fire at the same time, or explosion, where everything, all that smoke catch on fire and boom. You don't want that to happen. But I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. That's what happens. And so the reason I brought that up is because the fires and the characteristic of fires, the reason I brought that up is because we knew, the native people knew. Because all of us, all the natives I was around, we was all saying the same thing. That's not no natural fire. Because guess what? We used to start fires ourselves. And no, before I tell you that, because it was after days and days and days, the smoke never went down. The smoke got thicker, and that's how one of the reasons we knew. And then the smell, and then everybody's have to put on a mask. We couldn't have our celebration outside. They had to cancel everything because I live 100 miles, at least 100 miles, something like that, 75 miles through the air from where the fires was. Guess what? That smoke was all the way over to where I'm at. And you could see it on top of stuff. Like you see it on top of your car and all that stuff. I'm like, wait, that's not regular. Because most of the fuel, once the fire gets hot enough, most of the fuel just burns up. It doesn't go into the fires weren't designed to do that. Once the fuel burns up and then everything is in that area, it's not going to just be all over the place. See? And that's why I brought it up. And another reason that we knew is because we, along with the animals, is we used to take care of the forest. And so we would light fires. We had control fires. We used to use fires to put out other fires. And you can do that too. You use one fire to put out another fire. You got to really, because they always say the opposites attracts, or that's what they'll tell you. But a lot of times, you can use one thing to the same thing against his own self. You can use a fire to put a fire out, and you can use a fire to start another fire. So you can do it both ways. And people wondering, scratching their head right now in their mind, well, how you gonna start a fire? How you gonna put a fire out with a fire? It has to do with size. That's what it has to do with. It has to do with size. It has to do with size, and it has to do with wind. It has to do with a lot of different things of how you do that. But you're not here for that lesson. But I just wanted to let you know that, yeah, I was in that suffocating stuff, man. A lot of people couldn't talk. It messed a lot of our throats. It messed my throat up because guess what? I'm a knucklehead. And I'm like, whatever happened to us is just going to have to happen because they're doing it anyway. And that's probably why I have this throat problem now all the time. Because that stuff was choking the shit out of me. And because I knew that those little masks that they wear, I know that wasn't really going to work. That little mask wasn't going to work to do nothing. But I got no response. Back to the boxing a little bit. But I got zero response when I asked about these fighters that has all their moves been alpha male moves. See? Like I said, we're going to be on this, man, because the thing is, the chats, all these chats, it's got everybody talking about pound for pound and all this other crap. So we took a different angle in Eagles where we thought, okay, pound for pound, this and that. Okay, who's the alpha dog today? So, Sean Porter. Did Sean Porter make all the moves? All the moves he has made, has he shown us that, hey, I'm the alpha male? I am the alpha male. And then if somebody was the alpha male, then the challenges, everybody would want him. But everybody wants everybody. Everybody should be picking and asking to fight one particular fighter. And right now, the one that's on everybody's list still, even in welterweight, the one that's on everybody's list, everybody want Manny for some reason. But he's not the face of boxing. Everybody want Manny. That's who they want. They don't want nobody else. They want Manny. I want Manny. He's on their list. He might not be top on everybody's list. I'm not saying he's number one on everybody's list, but he's on their top 3 or 4. He's in there. Then you got to look at who's on nobody's list. Now, it's 2 reasons. There's different ways, too, because you can have somebody on your list. It's because you think they're EW, an easy win. Or they might be on your list because you think they top. Oh, I want him because I know he's the face right now. If I knock him out, it's going to build my brand and stuff like that. But I'm not saying, like, for instance, like, so AJ is on the point I made prior that AJ would be on something like that, to where so AJ is not because he's the top dog, alpha dog, that they want to fight him. Everybody want to fight AJ because they think they can beat him. Just like we want to fight AJ because we think we can beat him. And then you take somebody like Ortiz. Nobody want to fight Ortiz. But guess what? If you fought Ortiz, you're going to get a bigger stamp of approval than you would if you fought AJ. If you actually beat Ortiz, like you just beat him up, just think about it. Nobody want to fight you. Then you going to say, I beat the boogeyman. And who wouldn't want to beat the boogeyman? I beat the boogeyman. So who want me now? Now what y'all want? Nothing. Don't nobody want nothing now, right? Isn't that how you want them? You want them to not want nothing? That's the way I wanted you. Yeah, you don't want nothing. What you, yo, come get some. Nobody want nothing. But talking about age, oh yeah, I want it. You got somebody who's ranked 20th. They want them. See? That's the difference. When everybody wants you, because they can want you for one or two reasons. To get their popularity, or two things. 2 or 3 things. For popularity, I'm going to whoop your ass because you suck. And I'm going to be more popular because I'm taking over your brand and mine. Because I'm talking bad about you. See, so a lot of people don't use this. If you're going to think about somebody's brand. Because I'm going to talk about your fans to you. I'm going to say, how you like his brand now? I know you were sold on like, even for instance, like, if Fury was smart. I know you were sold on the Wilder brand. But you see what happens when the Wilder brand comes up against me. See? Nobody talks like that. Because there's a whole lot of underhanded stuff too, though. So we didn't cover all that. But that's a lot of underhanded stuff. You said who should be on Manny's list? Oh, Manny's is he's on that what's her name? He on that Cardi B tip right now. He making money moves. See, and the thing of seeing, and here's the thing, Don Dada, you asked that question because he just had a fight with Keith Thurman. And a lot of people gonna call it a pass and stuff like that, but then Manny is older, and Manny can do what he wants to because he just beat Keith, so he can do what he wants to. So Manny gonna make that money move. Whichever one makes the most money. Stop right there though. Whichever one makes the most money in his safer form, he'll take that one. He ain't gonna take the top money. Like he ain't gonna take Earl Spence right away. You know what I mean? That's the top money right there. Earl Spence would be the top money for him. That's the biggest money he gonna make at that weight is Earl Spence. But if there's some kind because I heard somebody say that Mikey doesn't have a brand, but guess what? They're working on that again. So if Mikey don't have a brand, then why is Manny trying to fight him with no brand? I say all fighters got a brand, but people just didn't understand what that brand meant, how it meant. I don't care about the social media brand, but all these fighters, they're branded. You can't say that fighters of the past don't know who Mikey is. You can't say that. More people know about him than even know about Swamp Monster. See? Mikey. He taking people with him, even if, you might not like his brand. It might suck to you, but hey. But Manny right now, I think that's what he's going to do. That's why he's picking up, that's why he's thinking about that Manny. Mikey again. But he's earned it, so it may only be another fight for him. After this fight, it might only be one more fight. Everybody's not going to get Manny. If he beats Mikey or something like that, or if he gets past Mikey and it's comfortable, he don't get beat up bad, he might take Earl. And then he'll be out. He's going to believe me, if he fights Earl, that's it. There ain't no comeback after that. I'm not fighting no more after that. Get that big money and get the hell out. Which would be the smartest thing for him to do. But if the Manny versus Garcia, if that packs on enough, bread, he might get out after that one. Yeah, Dog said Cardi making music with anybody. Yeah, make money move. Yeah, I'm not into that at all, man. Just believe me, I just threw her. How she get airtime on my show? I just threw it out there because of the song. Because she's making money moves or whatever. Don right back said, he said me, Sean Porter dropped one with her next year for the bag. Yeah, okay, Don. You and Sean Porter? What's Sean talking about? What's Sean rap about? Does Sean flow? I'm ignorant when it comes to certain stuff, man. Does Sean flow? I don't know I don't keep up with that part of their life, man. Who's the boxer that flows right now? Do we have one? Y'all put them up, man. Let me know. Maybe it's somebody I forgot. Who's the lyricist now? Remember, it used to be Ali, right? Who's our lyricist now in boxing? Or is there one? I don't know. I'm waiting. I don't know. Who's our new lyricist in boxing? Yeah, cause and Don Dada, I got a little bit of a agreement with you on that one. You said Manny and Mikey should fight and both retire at fight in after the end of the fight. I could see that because there's no, as far as welterweight, there's no improvement for Mikey. Once those damn decisions was beat out of him by Earl, and I'm telling you, man, where Earl puts a whooping on people, but people is just not seeing it. When Earl whoop your ass, you just ain't the same no more. When Earl whoop you, it's different when somebody else whoop you, but when Earl beat you up, it's just, even if you just ain't gonna, you just don't fight the same no more. Your whole energy changed, your whole attitude, everything changed. You start turning into a mouthpiece, a cheerleader, and everything else. Earl be breaking you down, turning you into a cheerleader. I'm telling you, man, everybody, I ain't seen nobody that's fighting real good after Earl fought him. It's like, after that ass whooping, you just, damn, I got my ass whooped. Gatekeeper. Earl is, instead of man down, he should be Earl the gatekeeper maker Spence. Gatekeeper maker, yeah. Yeah, you stupid. He said Porter just got in a new set of ties. He said new money. Is that the new money? Yeah. That's the new, Don Dada said that's the new money with shining them ties. Man, I'm good. I'm straight. I wear my beads and stuff. I wear my buffalo. Yeah. Eagle just wears buffalo, man. Forget all that. I'll let y'all can be down with Sean when it comes to all that other stuff, man. With Sean, I'm not with you on that. Sorry about that, brother. Usually I can hang on stuff, but them big flamboyant ties and all that, yeah. Hey, but we'll get back on Wednesday, man. Y'all come back in, man. We'll have some more deep discussion. We gonna stay on this, man, for a little while. Ain't nothing really happening. There's people talking. And we'll talk about, but we didn't really get to talk about these comebacks. But we'll talk about who Sergio or Martinez should come back against, or if he should come back. Oscar De La Hoya, if he should come back, who he should fight. Who would you pay for him to fight? And probably in the Eagles way, we probably ain't gonna pay for none of them to fight, because that's just how we are. We try and look. Hey, if you ain't the goods, we ain't trying to pay you. We just trying to see. We trying to see what we can see for free. And that's just what it is. Eagles wear, that's what we do, man. Yeah, but y'all know what it is, man. Look, man, Eagle got to get up out of here, man. I should have been gone. I don't know how this show ended up being as long as it is. Because this started off, this is a baby show today, man. But y'all finally shook some of that 4th of July itis off. So by Wednesday, all that itis should be completely gone, man. Tomorrow y'all get that energy going again, and then Wednesday y'all should be good. Y'all fall up in the web, man. Slide down the web, hit that bell icon if you can, or if you haven't already hit it, hit that thumbs up. Let me know that everything's cool, and try to hit y'all with some more Eagle Heat. So that's my new segment within the shows, man. I got to give y'all with the Eagle. I got to hit y'all with the Eagle Heat. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I didn't see Lala today, man. Yeah, I would have shouted her out, but she didn't come through. But she'll be back, man. No, y'all don't worry about her. She'll come back through. Yeah, my nephew came through first. He said he had to, because I was mentioning that itis and stuff. He said, yeah. That itis hit me. Yeah. So he got hit with that itis. I know what it is, man, because guess what? I didn't even do nothing but work. I finally got back to work, man, and no, for yous that interested in it, no, I did not. Nobody put the trash money grab on me. You see what I mean? So nobody put that trash money grab on me, man. So don't y'all think that I got that trash money grab put on me. Yeah. But we can be back at it, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know y'all see that screen. That's the wrong. I was just wanting to put something up just so people know. No, not that. Come on, man. Come on now. Give me something. None of my screens have what I need to have on there. None of them. Like, are you kidding? All right. Yeah, that's a good enough one. There we go right there. That's a good enough right there. Yeah. But you guys know what it is, man. Eagle up in here, man. That's right. Don, tell him don't get neck up here. Don't get your neck stretched out there. He saying the Eagles wear boxing. But anyway, man, my shout out to all the real people that I see. And my shout out on Monday to all y'all that mess with me. On this Monday, y'all know what it is, man. Blessed up. Nothing but blessings on this Monday, man. Y'all know what it is. I'm going to catch y'all, man.